this is Zoe. Now, up until this very morning, the Houston Outlaws have still not been sure if Linkser is going to be back playing with them, as he has been ill for their last game already. And unfortunately, he once more had to cancel on them, so they had to swap in Clockwork once again in the last minute. Now, here's the deal. If we're looking at the map pool, those are maps where the Houston Outlaws like to utilize Widowmaker as well as Pharah, and both of those heroes are actually usually played by Linkser. So not only did Clockwork have to fill the shoes of two heroes, which he's usually not playing, but also on maps where he usually doesn't practice on, because during their practice, they obviously would use Linkser, as he's having the responsibility of the Widowmaker as well as the Pharah. And I talked to their coach during halftime, and Flame said, you know what, we're actually really proud of how Clockwork is performing. He's not really popping off, he's not doing those flashy plays, but he's solid. He's never underperforming, so you gotta give it to that guy for stepping in last minute and actually really doing a good job for his team right there. So heads up for you, Clockwork. Let's see if the Houston Outlaws can bring it back in map number 4. And for the action, we're heading over to our casters.
Thank you, Zoe. It has been tough for Houston so far. It's kind of been the archaeological expedition, I feel like, in this match, to search for the missing Linkser, and they're not finding him right now.
Unlucky.
Oh, it's a bummer. But, I mean, they've got Clockwork, and like Zoe said, she's right. You know, he's performing, he's being solid here, but they need that playmaker, and that's what Linkser brings, and one does wonder how things would have gone. I mean, it's been fairly close, but could it have even gone Houston's way so far? They're not out of it yet, though.
I would have predicted Houston to win today if Linkser was starting in this lineup, based on the form that we saw SEOUL in yesterday.
Interesting.
And the stylistic strengths of this Houston roster and the maps that they're playing against SEOUL. All these factors, I think, should have been an upset. Unfortunately, as we look at Wikid and Banny coming in, that may not be the case. Now, Houston, they've got to win Junkertown, which they aren't undefeated on, to be fair.
Sure.
But then they have to win on Lijiang if they're going to try and push through and make themselves competitively viable for this stage playoffs. There is a lot on the line here. An upset by Houston can vault them into the top 3.
I don't know if I can trust you, Monte Cristo, because ever since World Cup, whenever you say that you're going to root for a team against a Korean team, I'm ready for you to rip open your shirt and there's a Korean jersey underneath there. I know how you operate.
That is true, Doa. However, I also did predict Valiant to beat New York Excelsior earlier this season. I was wrong.
You're building
I was
trust.
wrong about that.
You're building trust with me and the community. And, you know, keep it up. Keep it up, man.
That's right. It's all about that intellectual honesty.
That's right.
But I do think that Houston, regardless of win or lose today, what they have shown us in their string of 5 straight victories against teams that we expect them to beat. And the question was, how good are these guys coming into the match today? And even with their troubles with illness, we see Clockwork meshing well with this team. And what it shows us is that the positioning and the tactics and the communications of the Outlaws, the foundations are very, very solid. They're able to hang with SEOUL here in some extremely close maps so far. And it makes you believe that with Linkser in the roster, that this is a team that can compete with the very best.
True enough. I think they've definitely proved that. And I mean, just like any sport out there, right? I mean, injuries, illness will impact your performance, and that's what we're seeing right now, unfortunately, here for the Houston Outlaws. But now we get to talk about some of the interesting stuff these teams have been doing on this map, because it's right in front of us.
That's right, Doa. So both of these teams like to run supports on Roadhog for a triple tank, double DPS combination. Houston likes to do it on defense. SEOUL has done it both on attack and defense, so really gives you a lot of burst potential and pick potential here to take somebody out quickly and rely on a single support with that Mercy to do a lot of that damage.
Well, SEOUL is really ready
for heal, rather.
SEOUL is really ready for the early attack. They had that Orisa shield in position to avoid the hooks, avoid the Widow shots, and now they're moving out. Jay-Hong. There's a hook. He bangs in Cool Matt. They can't finish him off, though. Cool Matt escapes with a little bit of health, and they do have to vacate the cart for a moment as Houston pushes in.
Yeah, Raucus was on the flank attempting to get a hook behind the shield. He's looking again around the side. He's going to be creeping out here.
Yeah.
Early Riptire for Jake.
Oh, where's it going to go?
A lot of those tanks allow him to charge his ultimate particularly quickly.
Oh, Miro taken down. Clockwork gets the kill into Jay-Hong as well. So Houston, despite losing Jake, that may be enough. Oh,
okay.
And then Fleta shows up, and Fleta destroys everybody. That's 4 for Fleta. Insanity! Just when you think SEOUL is gonna get stopped here, Fleta comes in.
So what SEOUL did there was open up the sightline for Fleta. So after they got the kill on Jake, Zunba comes back in, and it looks like he's going to be the one who's assassinating Banny on the Mercy. But it was all a bait to get them into the crosshairs of Fleta. And then Fleta delivers with the 4K. That was magnificent.
That was some beautiful stuff from SEOUL. Jake did take out the Riptire coming in from Wekid, and now they're going to have to go ahead and use Toby's Mercy ultimate to try to take this point A. They do take it, though. Fleta finds Clockwork again in the Widow v Widow, and Houston brawling on the payload, but the point has already been taken. There goes Bounty, and now Houston not going to find an opportunity to set up that high ground defense here on point B. So this could be the beginning of a snowball from SEOUL.
Yeah, it could be, and Houston going to try and make some adjustments here. They're going to move Raucus, of course, over to the Zenyatta for the rest of this map, and Clockwork is tired of the Widow versus Widow, so he will be on the Soldier 76, but they are going to have a hard time dealing with the high ground hard point here set up by SEOUL Dynasty.
Yeah.
A lot of room for Fleta to work with right now. Just gonna watch them try and come in, and they're not gonna get any opportunities or give any away for Fleta to take advantage of yet. Muma's the only one on that side of the map. Everybody else is trying to wrap around right now.
They've got to show themselves at some point here. Oh, they are now. Fleta being shown by the Houston Outlaws. Forget that sentence. It's something anyway. Jake gets a kill on the Jaehong. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the next one will be better, I promise. All right, Merciel coming in. Bonnie pops the Valkyrie to keep Houston in this one. And they do manage to jump on the payload here. Wekid kind of cornered and brought in for the kill. So Houston do manage to stabilize in the end.
Yeah, they do. Muma there on the side, a bit of a distraction while the rest of his team. Coolmat is way far out in front. He is lucky he did not get demech there.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, Fleta overextended. He got a little hungry to finish off that Diva mech, and
yep, it was all part of the plan.
Jake ends up punishing him for it.
So, Fleta back. SEOUL Dynasty going to push again here.
Yeah,
3 minutes on the clock.
Sticking to the Roadhogs. They've been pleased with this so far. He's just charging up Toby. They want to get that Valkyrie, knowing that he is only 10% away right now.
That's right. Here we go. Riptire coming in again. Jake looking for some kills. Can Jaehong take it down? Oh, he got it! Toby. He found Toby with that one.
That was a 1 HP tire left. I thought for sure it was going to fall, but instead, the kill comes onto Toby, and that is great for the Houston Outlaws. It's going to give Banny some more time to get his Valkyrie. He was about 60% behind. These little breaks could be worth quite a bit for the Houston Outlaws. Great value from the tire.
Fleta over on the Genji now, so swapping things up a little bit, seeing if he can get a little bit more aggressive, find the back line. Houston has done a good job of protecting its supports. He wants to change all that now. Here comes the tire. Ooh, dodges a shield, goes right through them. He's gonna come back again. He really wants that Zenyatta. Yeah, Raucus taken out after the Transcendence ends. Muma still has that supercharger up on the high ground.
But the payload's moving, Doa, this entire time.
Now stopped finally. Toby, though, pops that Valkyrie to keep SEOUL in this one. Zunba demeched, but not demotivated as he goes in onto Coolmat. Now Muma running away. I haven't seen Orisa run away from Pilot Diva very often, but we just saw it. And that might be enough to give SEOUL a point. Looks like it will be.
And the upside to chasing down Raucus with that Riptire was that they couldn't actually move onto the point. There was no healing for them down there after Raucus dies, so they have to stay behind the barriers. And SEOUL realizes this, and they just keep the payload moving with Fleta. Fleta's just standing on top of it the whole time.
Yeah, why not?
So now there's no chance at the end of point B for Houston to defend because the payload was moving for the duration of the last fight.
Now, about 2:30 on the clock for SEOUL to try to finish Junkertown here. Fleta low has to back off for the moment, but that payload still moving forward a little bit. Got paused for the moment as SEOUL backs away. Looks like they need to get some healing onto Miro here.
Yeah, they know Banny has the Valkyrie, so SEOUL poking in. They don't want to try and fully push this point yet until they have some matching ultimates. Jaehong will be the first up with the Transcendence.
Yeah, Wekid getting close to that Riptire again. That could be big too. Jake's gonna get his first. He's gonna send it in. Can they handle it? Where is Satire coming in from on top? Oh, but Wekied right there with the concussion mine to take it down. Fleta gets the D-Mech on the cool man. That's a big one. D.Va out of the way. Ooh, Fleta has to back away, and here comes Muma for the kill. Wekied's tire does not find its mark as Clockwork shoots that one down. And Transcendence from Jaehyung, they're going for it.
They are going in on this one. Banny's going to use his Valkyrie as he sees the Transcendence come out. But I don't think he had to use it there, Doa. The Transcendence was a bit superfluous.
I agree.
From Jaehyung, there were only 3 Soul members.
Yeah, it was kind of an overreach from Seoul. They're going to pay for it. Mira with the ultimate, but not getting a lot accomplished other than getting killed off later than the rest of his team. No, he made it out. Wow. I did not expect him to survive that.
Oh, Toby.
Oh, Wekied.
Yeah, Toby dying late to Muma.
Yep.
So the stagger comes in for Houston. They're still looking okay.
1 minute.
Yeah, the positioning is all right for only a minute remaining. They have the stall ultimates of the Primal Rage and the self-destruct, so it's going to take an overtime push for Seoul to get all the way through the end of Junkertown.
Yeah, and Jake, we know how good he is at getting these picks with this Junkrat as teams try to come in here. Nearly has a Riptire yet again. Seoul needs to make something happen right about now.
Some bubbles down, so they're taking a lot of damage coming through the chokes.
Yeah, they send in the self-destruct to try to pave the way for the team to come in and at least make a push here. Oh, and it's dead. He dies before he can use his Dragon Blade, and here comes a tire. That's a problem. No, it's not. Wekied gets it. Fleta brought back up by Toby, and now Houston needs to be very careful about this. No, never mind. He's dead. He's back. Mercy's confusing. Fleta's back again. Oh, Wekied, meanwhile, you thought you had to worry about the ninja, but it's a Riptire the entire time. And Seoul getting some real distance here, but we are going to be into overtime.
And it's all about baiting out that Transcendence with Raucous right now. Fleta needs to get rid of that ability if he's going to get the big wipe they need to finish the map with the Dragon Blade. Houston Outlaws still in control.
Now, Fleta died about 3 times that last fight, but he's back again. If he can stay alive and get a good Dragon Blade off, that could be it. Overtime ticking. They need to keep people on the point right now, Fleta. Houston knows it. They know they need to zone him out. Fleta getting him back lines. There's a sword. Can he find the kills here? Can't quite do it, no. Mercy, too much healing, and Toby goes down. There goes Fleta from the Riptire, and Houston may have just won this fight. That payload's still moving a little bit, but I think that's where it's going to stop, Monty.
Yeah, I think you're right, Doa. All the ultimates coming down. Self-destruct is over. So is the Primal Rage, and that'll be it.
So Houston do come up with the defensive hold in the end. Seoul got it nearly all the way there, but weren't quite able to finish.
No, they weren't, and the support ults at the end, like you said, too much healing in that last engagement to make good use of the Dragon Blade.
Houston did such a great job at the end of that last point. They did a good job of not giving Fleta really any opportunities to get onto the supports. He had to go after the tank, it didn't work out, and Wekied had some great Riptires. This actually gave Seoul a lot of distance, as it often does when you kill both supports and one of their DPS with your ultimate.
Yeah, it definitely got them some movement, and that may be enough. As we take a look at the attack here, potentially from the side of the Houston Outlaws.
We'll see.
While we see SEOUL Dynasty use the support on the Roadhog a lot on both sides of the map, when we've seen Houston run attack, they still like to use Double Sniper and Bastion.
Right.
But with Clockwork in the lineup, I'm not sure they're going to be going for exactly the same strat.
And we'll see. Seoul, last defense they played in this series was that pretty great defense on Lunar Colony. That certainly went their way. Different map, different situation, but something Houston's got to be thinking about a little bit as they come in here, because they know they need to win this map if they want to keep this series alive and force it to that 5th tiebreaker map on Lijiang Tower. But even if they do, like you mentioned earlier, Monte Cristo, control maps, as we saw in Ilios, kind of rough for Houston, so
yeah, it's
mountain
still,
to climb either way.
Yeah, it's still going to be really hard for them, and it's not like we've seen Seoul be a slouch on this map. They are 3-1, and they have not lost Junkertown since their first game of the Overwatch League season when they lost it to the Dallas Fuel.
That's right. Here we go. Houston on the attack. They've got Raucous on that Bastion, as they often do. The pirate ship will be setting sail here.
Yeah, I like the fact that we are going to be seeing Jake on the Junkrat.
Whoa!
As
Not
he-
going to be seeing him for a couple seconds at least.
Yeah, he'll be back up if, momentarily. It's but a momentary wait for us here. As,
Can they get to him though?
yeah, as far as the respawns go. But I like seeing him because
Toby!
oh no!
Oh, what?
He got bounced by a Junkrat grenade. It looked like.
Man, Clockwork waiting for the damage to charge up on that sniper shot, but a little bit too long as Toby escapes certain death. But Houston Outlaws still pushing that payload. Fleta falls, so didn't end up mattering. Houston taking a smooth point A so far.
Toby not going to be able to get that resurrection, so Raucus sets up shop behind a Orisa shield. He's not on the payload right now, overlooking the entirety of the defensive point where the Seoul Dynasty can hold. You can see he's on top of the car.
I mean, Toby got sniped out by Clockwork. There goes Miro. It's going to be no defense at all for Seoul, but we've seen them lose first points quickly before, so we'll see if they can get. It's a good start for Houston, though.
Great start for Houston, but we've been seeing that for 2 of the 3 maps that we've seen so far, and it hasn't resulted in a quick second point for Houston, or
True enough. Thanks for the narration, Junkrat. Here comes the tire. Oh, it got hooked. They lived somehow, some way. Jayon survived it. That big, meaty Roadhog body of his did the trick.
they're still waiting, though, and Jake is aggressively zoning them out of this staircase.
Oh, Miro, he's down. Weki down as well. Houston, they refuse to be stopped here. They are going to keep this payload moving.
And it's just been Muma and Raucus sitting on the payload this entire time. It's been Jake and Clockwork doing the necessary damage with some help from Cool Matt.
Oh, hi,
Fleta's
Fleta.
going to get found on the side, and he will die to Cool Matt.
Yeah, you're not getting out of that one if you're a Widowmaker most times. And a tire comes in again, catching Toby, catching Zunba's mech, and Houston just all over Seoul Dynasty right now. They really want that map 5.
Yeah, they do, and they've got plenty of time to do it. Fleta will remain on the Widowmaker. Jaehong moves to the Zenyatta, and of course Raucus will not be playing the Bastion through this final point. Already used his ultimate.
Oh,
Nice delay there.
Sneaky. A little bit of a delay. A couple seconds bought by Seoul. At least it gives the rest of his team time to set up here on the defense. As much as Cool Matt and Muma will allow it anyway.
Yeah, Zumba's already back up and rejoining the rest of his team. So Cool Matt walking forward. He's by himself. Muma wants to stay on the Orisa. So it's up to Cool Matt to run points since he can quickly get onto that high ground.
Whoa, that's going to be a self-destruct used by Cool Matt. Going to lose his mech anyway. Miro down. Raucus taken out in response here. Now the supercharger comes in for Houston. They've got that damage boost. Oh, and Toby may be in trouble here. Clockwork can't find the shot on either supports, and he'll have to back off. And it looks like Seoul may be able to stabilize a bit here. That payload's still moving, though. I don't know.
The payload is still moving to Zumba's in the
Nobody's
back
on it.
lines.
Now finally they jump on it. Muma trying to stay alive as long as he can, but looks like Seoul will come out on top of that fight for the time being.
Yeah, Jaehong gonna work his way all the way up to nearly a transcendence right now. Raucus already has his. Now we're gonna see Muma change. I think it was trying to see how much movement they could get by remaining on the Orisa with the supercharger. But still plenty of time left to work with the Winston. Clockwork also wants to play on that Soldier 76.
Right.
And Wakid with the Riptire kills right here. 3 of them came in 1 Riptire.
That does help. Speaking of Riptires, Jake sending his over Soul's way. They're going to demech Zumba immediately with it. Transcendence for Raucus. Ooh, I don't know if they needed that one right there. They may want that Zenyatta ultimate back. We'll see if Seoul can capitalize on it. Fleta taken out. That's not how you capitalize on it. They do demech Cool Matt, though, so Houston pushing forward.
It's a tough situation because you run the risk of your Zenyatta dying to the Riptire if you don't pop it right there, and they force them back enough to nearly get the payload to the end, and there's still 3.5 minutes remaining.
There goes Clockwork. Raucus brought back up again, though. Self-destruct coming in for Zunba. He finds Clockwork with it. Raucus taken out as well, so Seoul, again, winning this fight. Muma running for his life, and he'll make it out for the moment.
Miro has been ridiculous with these Primal Rages. He's either punching people into self-destructs or into the crosshairs of his teammate Fleta for this map, and once again, we see it there, making sure that the self-destruct does the damage by using the knockback from the Primal Rage. Wakid with another Riptire.
He's been saving this one. Here it comes, and he gets Bonnie. Jake falls as well. That was worth it. Still, though, over 2.5 minutes for Houston, so Seoul Dynasty not out of the woods by a long shot yet.
No, they're not, but they're rationing their ultimates. Everything is precious here with such a little amount of movement for the payload, such a small distance that it needs to go to get to the end of point C.
Well, this is where you get scared if you're Houston, right? Because Seoul's starting to look like maybe they've got you downloaded. You know, maybe they've started to kind of adapt and figure out how to defend.
I think you're fine. You still know you don't have any support ults up, but just draw them out if you can. And Rock is actually going to use his just to move all the way back behind the payload.
Now Houston knows they don't need to push it all the way. They just need to get it as far as Seoul did. So why not? Why not go for it? Oh, why not get killed by Jake's Junkrat tire?
Toby died during Valkyrie.
That could be it right there.
That
Houston
might be.
pushing forward. Miro defending as much as he can, but there's only so much you can do if you're 1v6. And I think, Monte Cristo, that we are going to map number 5.
Wow, at the end of that, they force the Transcendence, they force the Valkyrie. Jake's tire still finds its target before Toby can get any resurrections down.
Well, yet another clutch Junkrat play from Jake. I mean, we've seen it how many times this season, and it just never ends, man. Paving the way for Houston to win Junkertown, and we will go to that tiebreaker on Lijiang Tower.
Really exciting stuff, and now Houston Outlaws have a chance to get the upset to keep themselves in the stage playoffs.
It would be big. Ilios didn't go great. Maybe Lijiang Tower will be better. We'll find out after this.
The Overwatch League is... Yep. I'm Mercy dead! Mercy dead! I'm lucky! I got Genji, they're coming for me! I'm rescue, rescue! Come on, dead! You go respond, you go respond. You respond? No, we want a prisoner! No, we want a prisoner! Bucky! Let's go!
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.